We'll continue with the West End Patriots. Coach Derek Sewell. I believe this is your fourth year as a head football coach, your first year at West End. So, Coach, would you introduce the guys you brought with you this morning and give us an overview of the season for the Patriots?
Yeah, absolutely. So to my right on the end is Jake Edwards. Jake's a senior. He'll play wide receiver and outside linebacker for us, maybe some free safety. Then we have Isaiah Robertson. Isaiah will play middle linebacker and running back for us. He's a senior as well. Then senior John Collier. John will play center for us, and he'll rotate in at the defensive line. As far as an outlook, we've talked to these guys since I got there in March that there's a lot it's going to take to get where we would want to be. But at the heart of it, we're all competitors. And if anybody tells you they don't want to win, I don't really understand where they're coming from. So we do want to win. We want to win now. And I think we are suited to do that. Now, it's not going to just be because we get to win. We're going to have to put in the work, and I am overwhelmed with how these guys have worked since I got there in March. When I laid out the foundation of who we're going to be and what we're going to do, it all went back to the weight room. And these guys have bought into that. They worked their tails off. We had our lift-a-thon last night. We live streamed that where, we got our maxes for the end of the summer, and everybody got stronger. Some of us got leaps and bounds stronger, and there's now, I'm beginning to see, Bo and I talked about this earlier in the week, this mentality of we've got to love this room, this weight room. I can't, I know we're talking about the outlook of the season, but I've got to talk about this community for just a minute. That weight room was not where it needed to be. It hadn't been touched in a while as far as updates. We've done over $30,000 worth of renovations. And only $10,000 of that was in a grant form. These people in this community have poured in to what we're trying to do. And I think that's important for our success. So that's what excites me is I'm beginning to see each one of these understand, okay, not do I just need this room, but they're beginning to love going in there. And I can see it when they walk down those steps. And so that was a big thing for me. And so in my mind, the outlook is now, I think we're going to have those positive outlook, moments, those successful season because these guys are buying into what we're wanting to do. And, culture has become a mod word, and I guess it's okay to use, but we have a standard. And we want to get to this standard of toughness, a standard of being strong mentally and physically. And so that's our workroom. That's where we go to work. So the season will go as we go in there.
Hey, Coach, I got a chance to watch you guys in the spring at Glencoe. What did you guys learn from your team from after that spring game?
Just that we have a lot of kids, a team full of kids that are willing to work. It would have been easy for them to make excuses because they were looking at a whole new coaching staff, all new faces, learning a whole new system. And for us to be able to go in and see that our defense have an air about them, a walk about them, which, frankly, and again, I've said this over and again, it's the fault of really no one. I'm not placing blame, but defense has not been a staple in a while at West End. And for us to be able to go in, we've spent a lot of time there this summer. And we are, in my opinion, we are ahead on that side of the ball. And if you've got to give me a choice on the side of the ball to be ahead on at this point in the summer, I'm going to take that every day. And I learned that. I was a defensive coordinator under Coach Allred back here having him a little lunch. And anybody I've ever worked for, that when we've had success, that's been our thing. We're going to establish a standard of being tough, being run stoppers on defense. And they've done well with that, so we're pleased with that aspect.
Coach, we talked about this before, but along with the weight training is conditioning. A lot of these guys, I would expect that several of these guys are going to play both ways. How is the conditioning when you got there in terms of drill, and how have you altered it and gotten on track to where you want it to be for these kids to be in top flight shape?
They weren't. I wouldn't say they were behind, but that may be a better question for these three is how they feel things have changed. I've just, you listen, and I've asked a few of them. I think the consensus from these three and from the rest of the team is that we're working a lot harder than what maybe they're used to as far as the demands placed on them for the weight room and conditioning. I know Bo's been up, Teddy's been up. We put them through it, and they'll, I say it to them every day. What good is your excuse? No one cares if it's hard on you right now. Spring Garden doesn't care. Gas doesn't care. So why would you make that excuse for yourself? And it's taken a while to get them to buy into that, but I would say at this point in the summer, they understand now that we're going to have that blue-collar mentality. And again, that's kind of a mod phrase to use, but it's true. That's the community, that's the type of community they're in, and that's who we want to be. So they weren't behind, but now they're understanding there's a whole different level we've got to be at, and they're meeting that.
All right. This is for you players, and each one of you guys, I'd like to answer this. Your first meeting with Coach Sewell, what was that like? And he laid out his vision for you. Talk about that a little bit and how far along that's came since your first meeting to now.
So when we first met Coach Sewell, it was very jarring. Like I was saying, when we first met Coach Sewell, it was very jarring. He came in, he laid down the foundation, he laid down the rules, and he said, we're going to be working in the weight room every day, and we're going to, like he's been saying, blue-collar mentality. And his best phrase in the weight room is, no one feels sorry for you. Don't feel sorry for yourself. And we've been working a whole lot harder, and it was a whole lot tougher on us mentally and physically, but we're getting through it.
His foundation was a little bit different than Coach Davis's, but I believe we've adjusted really well to it. And I believe that we're working hard every day and just trying to become a better team as a whole.
Oh, well. I ain't really got much more to say besides working harder than what we're used to.
Coach, talk about you got these players. I know very experienced players coming back. Talk about the other squad. How many starters you've got back? How many players you have on the squad this year?
Yeah, we're really pleased with our numbers. We've had a few come out that haven't been out in the past. We're going to have, on a Friday night right now, we're going to have 35 to 37. There's a couple of adjustments that have to be made. And it wouldn't be fair, to say who's returning and who's not. I've got that number in mind, but I wanted them to understand this was a whole new thing. We were moving forward into something new. So we have developed starters throughout the summer. There are several guys that could have come and sat up here. And if you base it off the way they've worked, every one of them could come. But these three have exceptional leadership ability, all in different ways. But we're excited about at the quarterback position. Tyler Jones, he suffered an ACL injury last year, actually before Eli did. So he's kind of chomping at the bit. He's excited. He's had a good summer. He's working hard. We'll have 4 seniors on the offensive line, so that's good. And this time next summer, that may be a different situation. But we're excited about that. And again, it's just the way this entire team has taken on the new scheme. We want to establish the run, and so we've worked to make sure we do that. Thad Pierce is another guy that comes to mind. Thad's a guy we've got to get the ball to in space. He's very quick, very fast. Ashton Self. So we've got several guys that, if I continue to try to list names, I'll forget about. But we're really excited, offensively and defensively, about where we're at.
Other questions?
Yeah, no worries. So obviously new to this program, but how exciting was it, Coach? A lot of times you think you get a new head coach, talent level is down. Not the case. The cupboard is far from bare in your case.
Right, absolutely. you know, to come in, and I've told people this, and our coaching staff, we've talked about it. We're in a unique situation when we come in to take over a new program. It's ready to be successful now. We have 10 to 12 seniors, because I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. We have a ton of seniors, a ton of juniors, and even those handful of sophomores have a ton of playing experience. So we feel like we're in a good place to have success now. But like I tell tell everybody, yeah, we could have that success now when you look at it on paper, but that doesn't mean anything. If we don't continue to work, my biggest fear is we had a successful showing at Glencoe in the spring game. And my fear was that could go one or two ways. One way is the positive way, it's something to build off of and it's momentum into the summer. And then that other was, are we going to get complacent because we've done something on a spring game and a half? And that's when thankfully, it's not been that way. That momentum is carried into the summer. And yeah, I think we're poised to be able to have success now.
All right, Coach, thanks. Good luck. Leave you open up to Susan Moore on the 20th.
Yep.
At Susan Moore. Great rivalry game.
Yes, sir.
I hope you guys looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.